In the context of The Voice, a single performance has the potential to completely change the atmosphere of the entire competition. During the most recent episode of Blind Auditions, Niall, who had been going through what he jokingly referred to as his mini-losing streak, was able to capture the most coveted reward of the evening, which was the only four-chair turn of the evening. This was exactly the case. The Irish singer-songwriter may be the show's newest coach in comparison to legends such as John Legend himself, the experienced Gwen Stefani, or the ever-entertaining Reba McEntire, but the episode that aired last night demonstrated that Niall possesses the instincts, charm, and strategy necessary to carve out a team that is just as powerful as any of his fellow coaches. A sluggish beginning for Niall. For Niall, the evening did not get off to a good start. Although he was known for his upbeat banter and contagious smile, he was unsuccessful in getting the first couple of auditions he tried for. John was selected by a soul singer with powerful vocals, and Reba was selected by a candidate with a country-leaning approach, as was to be expected. Even Gwen was successful in luring a young singer-songwriter who appeared to be a better fit for Teen Niall than anybody else. Niall chuckled and said, "You're breaking my heart here," after one of the artists gently denied his proposal. The other coaches then proceeded to playfully tease Niall, taking advantage of his emotional distress. "You're losing your charm, Irishman," Gwen joked with a sarcastic tone. John, on the other hand, poked fun at him by saying, "Perhaps the next time you should sing them a song by One Direction." Despite the fact that the audience was laughing, they could tell that Niall's momentum had reached a plateau. This losing streak wasn't just a joke for a coach who was recognized for successfully guiding participants to the top of the charts. In fact, the artist he worked with during the previous season made it all the way to the final round. At the same time, it served as a timely reminder of how unpredictable and competitive the blinds can be. At approximately the halfway point of the program, the lights on stage were turned down, and a young woman named Sophia Morales, who seemed both nervous and confident, presented herself on stage. She presented herself as a pre-law student from Houston who sings to keep sane. She was only 20 years old at the time. Bishop Briggs' eerie anthem, "River," was the song that she chose to listen to. Beginning with the very first note, the coaches sat in their chairs with their backs forward. The combination of Sophia's raspy tone and her unbridled emotional control offered her performance a distinct advantage. Almost instantaneously, Gwen spun around and pressed her button inside the first 10 seconds of the transition. Almost immediately after that, Reba came in, enthralled by the soulfulness that Sophia possessed in her lower range. When John and Niall were each hovering over their buzzers, waiting for the perfect moment, that is when the actual tension began to escalate. A high note that sent shivers down the spine was played by Sophia during the chorus, and that was the end of it. The last two chairs spun practically in tandem. When all four coaches faced the stage, the audience erupted in applause, and Sophia's jaw dropped in the middle of the song. Despite the fact that tears began to spring up in her eyes, she persevered to the very end, delivering a note that was so powerful that it earned her a standing ovation. You just got yourself a turning of the four chairs. In addition to the commotion caused by the crowd's cheers, Carson Daly made the announcement. Gwen was the first to begin her presentation, and she began by saying, "I turned right away because you are unverifiable. You have this energy that not only feels contemporary, but yet feels timeless at the same time. It would be my pleasure to assist you in incorporating that into your artistic expression, your attire, and your stage presence. I can see the quality of a star." In response, Reba responded with a loving and wise statement, saying, "I love how you told a story in that song. Not only were you singing notes, but you were also giving us every single piece of your heart right there. I am able to assist you in becoming even more powerful, maintaining that storytelling as the focal point, and ensuring that you remain loyal to who you are." In the manner of a lawyer giving his concluding argument, John leaned forward with his hands clenched together. "Your voice has a lot of energy. It has a wide reach. You may play rock music, pop music, or church music. They are all options. I've also collaborated with singers that are able to perform in a variety of genres. I am the person you should come to if you are looking for someone in the eyes," and then proceeded to go for the heart from there. "You possess all of the qualities that we strive for on this stage. including control, power, tone, and artistry. But what struck me as most impressive was your capacity to connect with us on an emotional level, despite the fact that you were under a lot of strain. If you want to make it far on this show, you need to do that. What it is like to be young and to be standing on a stage, saying your heart out, and hoping that someone believes in you is something I have experienced. You can count on me to fight for you every step of the way if you decide to join my squad. We will construct a way forward that is authentic to who you are, not what other people anticipate you to be. The crowd exploded once more, demonstrating obvious support for Niall's impassioned appeal. A choice made by Sophia. While each coach proceeded to wave their arms and argue their case, Sophia took her time and savored the moment without breaking her concentration. She confessed that Gwen was one of her early idols, that she appreciated Reba's candor, and that she respected John's talent. She also acknowledged that she favored Reba. However, when Carson posed the most important question, Sophia looked at Carson with a tearful grin and declared, "When I choose, Niall." The audience went absolutely wild, and Niall jumped up and down in his chair in jubilation. While the other coaches were grumbling in a dramatic manner, he hurriedly made his way to the stage and gave Sophia a hug. Gwen made a fun stomping sound with her feet, while John acted as if he was pouting. "No, Sophia, you have broken my streak." Niall chuckled as he raised her hand in the air like a fierce prizefighter. The Niall team has just become more dangerous. Resulting outcomes. Throughout the remainder of the evening, there were numerous successful auditions, and each coach was able to add additional players to their own teams. Reba was able to secure the services of a soulful country crooner. Gwen obtained the services of a peculiar indie pop singer who played the ukulele. After performing a rendition of Stevie Wonder's song, John was able to win over a formidable balladeer who brought the house down. Nevertheless, it was abundantly evident that the defining event of the episode was none other than Sophia's performance, as well as her decision to join Team Niall. Not only did it mark the end of his winning streak, but it also established Niall as a formidable rival for the title of champion of the season. In a confessional conversation that took place behind the scenes, Sophia revealed, "I just felt like Niall really understood where I'm coming from. Rather than merely delivering a sales pitch to me, he was making an effort to connect with me. The kind of coach I need is someone like that." A look at what this implies for the season. It's possible that the inclusion of Sophia to Team Niall will alter the course of the competition itself. She possesses the kind of artist who can continue to develop week after week and surprise listeners at every turn because of the flexibility of her vocal range and the emotional depth she possesses. This pairing has the potential to be one of the most interesting storylines of the season, especially considering Niall's track record of turning underdog talents into fan favorites on multiple occasions. For Niall, the victory was not just about getting a wonderful contestant. It was also about reminding everyone, including himself, that despite having a difficult beginning, he possesses the intuition and charm to compete with the show's most prominent contestants. In his final remarks, Carson dropped a hint, saying, "If this is just the beginning, we are in for one season that will live long in the memory." And now that Niall is back on the winning side, people are already beginning to speculate about the likelihood of another member of Team Niall ascending to the top of the ranking.